Okay, if you are going to a Ford dealership to buy a car and you ask the dealer if Ford makes a good car, what do you think they're going to tell you? Of course they're going to tell you it makes a good car. They're going to give you a glowing review. The same goes for these trusted house sitter reviews.
Yeah.
Every time you see a title of a blog or a video that says, "Is trusted house sitters worth it?" they are being paid to tell you if it's worth it.
Yeah.
We are not. We are going to give you the real truth about trusted, not just trusted house sitters, all of these platforms.
Yeah.
We've been house sitting for 12 years.
Yeah.
And we have never used a platform. So let's look into this real review of whether trusted house sitters is worth it or not.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right on.
Hey guys, it's Paula and Natasha with Nomadic-AF. Today we are going to be talking about these house sitting platforms and whether they are worth it. But later in the video, stay till the end because we're going to tell you how we actually find some really great sits without fail, without using these house sitting platforms.
Right.
So there are a lot of blogs and videos out there supposedly answering the question, is trusted house sitters worth it? The problem is 99% of those videos promoting these house sitting platforms or getting paid to do so.
Right. Every single time you look at their review and you think, oh, that sounds great, and you join, they get paid. So of course they're going to give it a glowing review, right? Because
and you'll probably give it one too if you get a commission as well.
yeah. So instead of getting these biased reviews from people that are getting paid to do it, listen to us. We have been house sitting full time for 12 years straight. Every 6 months, every single year we house sit.
And we've never used one of these platforms.
Never. And it's not worth it, in our opinion, to do so. And again, we're going to show you how we get our house sits without these platforms.
But first, let's talk about why they're not worth it.
Yep. Okay, so we do not make any money off of this video.
No.
Like when somebody has a video that says, is trusted house sitters worth it? They are an affiliate marketer for trusted house sitters.
Yeah.
They get $10, $20, $30, $40 every time somebody signs up after watching their video.
Yeah.
We do not. So we have no incentive to lie to you, basically, because trusted house sitters and these other house sitting platforms are not the way to go if you want to be a house sitter.
No.
There are a lot of problems with these platforms, and we're going to get into each of them and tell you why we don't use them and why we do not think...
And it's not just cost.
No, it's not cost at all. I mean, well, of course it's cost some, but there are many reasons not to. And we do not think trusted house sitters are worth it or any other house sitting platform.
Yeah.
So let's get into
So
why.
the first reason we think is trusted house sitters worth it? No. Is because of the fierce competition on these sites.
It is ridiculous. These sites, to be a house sitter, there are maybe 3 house sits for every 100 house sitters.
Yeah.
And if you're new to the site or you don't have a ton of great reviews, you're not getting anything. You just wasted your money because the amount of competition on these sites
It's fierce.
it's insane.
And we're not just calling out trusted house sitters, we're calling out all of these platforms.
Yeah, any house sitting platform that charges you money to find a house sit, they're junk.
Yeah.
And we never used them, and we've never needed to find a house sit. We find them all the time. So the second reason we don't think it's worth it is the cost. The monthly cost involved. I mean, it could be anywhere from just maybe $100 up to $500 a year, depending on which level of these platforms.
That's a month rent.
That's a month's rent in Mexico, or more so than that.
Yeah.
But the monthly cost involved is ridiculous because you don't get anything for it. We've never paid a penny, and we find house sits at least 6 months a year, every year. And if we wanted it all year around, I'm sure we could do that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, the lack of sits is incredibly low.
Yeah, it's insanely low.
The ratios are very skewed.
Oh, they're so skewed. If you look at this screenshot right here, I just got on Trusted House Sitters and joined the free. I can see everything that a paid member can see. I can't apply to them. There were 35 house sits in Mexico.
Yeah, and how many house sitters looking to apply?
Hundreds and hundreds of house sitters.
Yeah, sometimes these people don't even respond to you.
Because they get so many interests from house sitters, they won't even reply to you.
They're just bogged down.
But there are 35 house sits in Mexico. I can go find 35 house sits for free in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And
we
not
got this house sit that we are in right now in within an hour.
within an hour for free for nothing. An hour after we decided we wanted to house sit here, we had it.
Yeah, 3 months of free rent in a beautiful beach house with a pool, 4-bedroom house, all of that. It's not necessary. Is Trusted House Sitters worth it? I think no.
Nope. Another problem on these house sitting sites is the lack of long-term house sits.
Yeah.
So again, on this screenshot, you can see I've screenshotted a third of these Mexican house sits. They're like 2 days long, 3 days long, a week long.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I am not flying to your city for 3 days. It's not happening.
And even if you just happen to be in that city, it's probably still not even worth it.
No, because you already have a hotel.
Yeah.
Also, we should note that Trusted House Sitters is an exchange of services. You don't get paid. So you're not getting paid to go there. This is just for free rent. And 3 days of free rent is not worth a trip to a different city.
No.
So it's definitely not worth it, these house sitting platforms like Trusted House Sitters, because we're looking for long-term house sits.
Yeah.
These 2-week house sits are not going to cut it for us.
They're not going to work.
No.
So is Trusted House Sitters worth it? When you're considering this, you need to also consider the rigidity of these platforms.
Right. Once a house sit gets posted up, I don't know the percentage, 75, 80, 90% of the time, these dates are set.
Yeah.
These people have already booked their tickets. They're going from X to X, and you need to be there from those dates.
Yeah, they've already probably booked their flights, and they cannot be changed.
Yeah.
We find house sitting jobs, I guess not jobs.
Well, it depends.
Yeah, sometimes there's a work involved. But we find house sits, and we have flexible dates.
Yeah. We don't, if they want to leave a week early, a week late, fine. If we need to show up a week, we tell them our schedule, and they book their flights around that, assuming it works for them too. But there's a lot more flexibility when you're your own boss and you're not subject to these platforms like this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Another reason we don't like these platforms is the review systems are incredibly biased.
Yeah.
I mean,
in favor of the homeowner.
And definitely in favor of the homeowner. If you have major problems on one of these house sits, you are really at a disadvantage, because if you give these homeowners a bad review, or if you even complain, they're going to give you a bad review.
And they
for
don't
the smallest.
care. Yeah, they don't care. They have 100 people trying to get their house sit the next time they need somebody.
Right. If they have 100 bad reviews, they're still going to find house sitters. If you have one bad review, no homeowner is going to look at you.
It could destroy your chances of getting another sit.
So a month into your year-long subscription, you get a bad review, you will not find another house sit.
Yeah.
And if you come on to Trusted House Sitters with 10 years experience as a house sitter with raving reviews from individual clients, none of that matters.
Yeah, it doesn't.
None of it, because it doesn't transfer to the platform. Nobody cares.
They only see reviews that have been booked through the platform. So is Trusted House Sitters worth it? No. So another reason that we are not big fans of these house sitting platforms is they put an unequal power dynamic when it shouldn't be. The homeowners have this hierarchy when in fact it's a partnership.
Right. It should be an equal exchange and equal partners. There's no reason a homeowner should be...
They're not your boss.
They're not your boss.
Working for them.
They shouldn't be Of course, there should be interviews both directions, but they shouldn't be interviewing you. It should be questions going both ways
to see if you're a good fit for each other.
Right. This is an equal exchange. I mean, they are having their pets loved and looked after. Like, some of these pets are their family members, and if they think you're working for them, you're doing them just as much of a favor as they're doing you for the exchange.
Yeah. In Trusted House Sitters, you feel more like an applicant rather than a partner with an exchange of equal services. They're getting just as much from your service as you are getting.
Absolutely. But it does, these platforms do not make it feel that way. They make it feel like you've got to be interviewed by the homeowner and they're in charge and this is their decision. Whether or not you take a house sit is as much your decision as it is theirs. You should never be made to feel like you're an applicant.
So another reason we do not think Trusted House Sitters is worth it is because of the unpaid labor framed as a perk.
Yeah, they act like you're getting this free house to stay in. You should have to take care of everything. You should do all the maintenance. You should paint the bedrooms. You should plant the garden. You should do all this. And that's kind of how Trusted House Sitters frames it. You're going to have this whole list, and the homeowners are going to make you feel like, well, you get a free place to stay. If you were staying in a hotel, you'd be paying. You're staying here, you should do work.
Yeah.
Now, there is work.
Yeah, you're living someone else's life and routine.
Yeah.
But you should not be doing all these extra red flags.
No, again, this is an exchange of service. You're loving and taking care of their house and their pets, and you're getting a place to stay. That doesn't make you unpaid labor. They shouldn't make you do all this extra work because they're saying, well, if you were in a hotel, you'd be paying. So you should do this extra work for us. It doesn't work that way. We've never encountered that in a house sit because we're a partnership with these homeowners.
Yeah.
They don't treat us like they're their indentured servants. They treat us like partners. Whereas on house sitting platforms, that's not the case.
Yeah, and the way that we find house and pet sits, it is more of a exchange. People understand our value and they appreciate it, which is incredibly refreshing that these house and pet sitting sites don't offer.
At all, no. All right, another problem with these platforms like Trusted House Sitters and why we don't think they're worth it is new sitters either don't get any sits or they are pressured into feeling like they have to take sits that just don't work for them. Actually, even bad house sits.
Just to build their profile.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
And that could even mean remote location, super demanding pets, awkward timelines. But as a house sitter on these trusted house sitting platforms, you feel like you cannot climb the ranks unless you take some of these crappy sits first.
Right. You're trying to build your ranking, you're trying to build your reviews, and you think to yourself, oh, well, I've got to spend $1,000 to get to a week-long house sit. I need to boost up my reviews, so I have to take it. Or they've got 16 dogs and 15 of them are old and sick. Like, I don't really want to do this, but I really have to.
And it sucks because a lot of people will just do 1 or 2 sits on these platforms and then just say screw it because it's just not worth it, their time and energy they're putting into it.
Yeah, so you paid for a year-long membership and you've used it once and you're so over house sitting. That's
never
not
want
the
to
way.
do it again.
Yeah, that's not the way it is with us. We only take the sits that we want, that fit for our lifestyle. We are not taking sits we don't care about.
Yeah, we're not taking sits where the dog needs walked at 11 p.m. because that doesn't fit our lifestyle.
Right.
So is Trusted House Sitters worth it and these other platforms? I don't think so because there is no real support or even any kind of accountability.
No, it's this middle person that's hooking up house sitters and homeowners, but they don't do anything.
They take your money and don't do crap.
They don't do crap. And so, like, Trusted House Sitters has 3 levels: basic, advanced, and super duper. I don't know, whatever it is. And they're quite a price difference, and they're very expensive annually, but you get nothing for that.
No.
Literally nothing. They tell you they're going to help you with stuff, but you go through and you read real reviews, like on Reddit and stuff, where they had these terrible house sits that they showed up at, and they weren't in the right location or anything. Trusted House Sitters won't do anything to help you.
Yeah, unless you are a homeowner, is Trusted House Sitters worth it?
No, definitely not. All right, another reason, or I guess we'll say the final reason we don't think that Trusted House Sitters is worth it, or any house sitting platform, is the ratios are so screwed. There are so many house sitters to homeowners that it's impossible to get noticed unless you're a mega sitter with 500 sits on Trusted House Sitters.
Yeah, and you've been paying them for years.
You're going to be left with some really bad house sits.
Yeah.
And that's not how it is in the real world.
No, it's definitely not. You're not fighting to get noticed in the real world. Some of these, like, house sitting platforms, the listings fill up so fast and the homeowners get so bombarded that they don't even respond to you as an applicant, when in reality it should not be that way.
No, so they might have one homeowner might post something and it'll be up for 5 hours and they'll have 100 applicants, right?
Yeah.
They stopped at 10. They don't even know you applied. In the real world, right here in this town, there might be 50 homeowners that need house sitters, and there might be 5 house sitters in town.
Yeah.
That's how it really is in the real world, and that's how we take advantage of our situation as house sitters.
Yeah.
We know where the homeowners are, and we know how to find them. We don't pay a platform.
Never.
Yeah. And we are never in need of house sitting. We find them all the time.
Yeah.
So let's get into really quick, just super quick, how we find these without house sitting platforms.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have been house sitting, like I said, 12 years now. Never a part of any platform, never once. If we wanted to house sit all year, we would, but it can get tiring, right?
Yeah.
It is a job. It's not like a vacation, right?
Yeah.
So we decided a few months ago we were going to house sit for the summer.
Yeah.
We did our little marketing thing. Within 1 hour, I had multiple house sits. We settled on this one. We decided to choose this one because the timeline was longer, 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
You can see a beautiful ocean view, beautiful home. It's
Yeah.
a low-key place. The lady was super cool and super nice. We vibed really well.
Yeah, and it was easy to get to from the location we were already in.
Yeah, so all these things you have to take into account. We chose this house sit on our terms and the homeowners. It wasn't, the homeowner was not in charge. We were not in charge. We were equal partners here.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to get into all the details on how we find this, but I mean, if you want a video, we can make a video about it. Just ask in the comments. But we find out where we want to go, right? We sit and we talk. Where haven't we seen? Are we in the mood for the beach? Are we in the mood for the mountains? What are we in the mood for the next 3 to 6 months?
Yeah.
We have no home.
Yeah.
We can go wherever we want.
Yeah.
We decided we wanted to come to Manzanillo. We've never seen it. It's summertime. We know there are a lot of snowbirds that don't belong here.
Yep.
Or don't belong here. That aren't going to be here for the summer. They can belong, but they're not going to be here.
Yeah.
We message them. We reach out to them. We find numerous different ways to reach out to these homeowners in these beach towns because we know they're going to be gone.
Yep.
We tell them what we do, who we are, when we're available, and we show them our references.
Our laundry list of references.
We have never not got a house sit this way. And we've, again, been doing this for 12 years. If we want to go to Cozumel for the whole summer, I guarantee you I'll have a house sit for us within a day in Cozumel.
Yeah, and we also have a lot of regular clients, so if we decide to go to Mexico City, we just text them and see who needs what and base our trip on that.
Yeah, which is exactly what we did here. We were outside of our last house sit. We contacted one of our buddies who we know needs house sitters.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, hell yeah, come on down. So we stayed there for 2 weeks.
In Mexico City for free.
Yeah, I mean, it is the only way to go. If you want to travel, house sitting is the way to do it. It's inexpensive, it's free. International house sitting, though, you don't get paid. It is an exchange.
Evenly.
Evenly.
Yeah. And like you said before, we will happily post content about how we specifically find house sits and how you can find house sits without fail. If you are interested in that, please leave a comment in the description below because we will do it. And definitely like and subscribe because we post content like this all the time about house sitting, travel, living in Mexico, all that good stuff.
Yep, so
Till next time.
late.